And we are live. Good evening or afternoon or whatever to everybody. Glad to be able to get a stream in this month. Well, I had one a couple weeks ago, but it's been a slow month in terms of content on here, both streaming related and video related. Now, the video part is mostly not my fault because I'm still dealing with getting content ID claimed on these Dare Film videos, and while Bandai Namco is not particularly helpful in terms of letting those through after I dispute it, at least they respond quickly, so I don't have to waste a lot of time waiting, which is something, I suppose. Let's see, but hold on a second. Make sure this is all connected. I think everything is connected right. Actually, I should probably check my audio device now. Make sure I have the right one on. I hope. I'm actually plugging this in again. It's not showing up, and I feel like the sound is not as good from. It's definitely not as good from the computer microphone array compared to the USB mic, which it should be picking up. Why is it not picking it up? That is unfortunate. I guess let me know if the sound is terrible, because I can't really hear it, but I can maybe listen now, see if it sounds. No, it sounds pretty bad. Why is there always something not working right? There's always something. Let's get to devices. Well, computer recognizes it. I don't know why Streamlabs isn't. Let's try this once again. No audio. Add source. There we go. Okay, now we should be good. Had to delete the audio source and open another one. I think now we're good. So, as we've done in the last couple of streams like this, I'm going to do some drawing. Since Dream Match is still inoperable, I did find somebody, a friend of mine, who should hopefully be able to help me out with doing the quota without having to charge me a couple $100 to do it. So it's a matter now of arranging the time to make that happen. So I'm going to see about next week, and hopefully, not next weekend, at least before the next time I stream, I'll be able to get that set up again. I'll have to clear the entire game again, and be able to play the game, since I enjoy it, and I know you guys enjoy watching it, and there's still some stubborn maps that I haven't cleared yet. That's why I want to have to clear the entire game again to get to that point. So, I'm only going for about an hour tonight, so without further ado, we should get into the actual drawing. Even a couple minutes for everybody to show up now that the audio is fixed. Yeah, I should put out another reminder. Let's see. Let us swap the video over to the better webcam. Okay, so I have a little bit of a different setup this time, kind of. I think I found a way to I have set it up to kind of be over my shoulder a little bit more, so it might be a bit easier A to see and B for me to draw with it here. I still haven't gotten a better lighting situation, but I'll work on that at some point soon. So, since I'm only going for about an hour, since I want to do a member stream after this as well. So let's get started. I've still been keeping up with this more or less. I found a way to save pages in my book here by doing some drawings on a multiple day drawing. So I did, like, see, this is 6 days of being strict with 10 minutes per day. This was 8 days worth of strict 10 minutes because I found I was doing more than another one a couple weeks ago. And I was doing more than just 10 minutes because it's fun. But on the other hand, I do have to organize my time to get other things done. So I'm trying to be stricter with 10 minutes, and as a way to be able to do bigger things than just, tiny sketches. I am doing multi-day sketches now because I still have about, I don't know, 20 or 30 pages left. I'll have to buy a new sketchbook here. So, shadows not too bad. Okay, so kind of quiet right now, but I'll leave time for anyone to join in before I start drawing anything specific. And we'll start with, well, I'll pick somebody from Girls Und Panzer if I don't get any suggestions quickly enough. Sorry about that. A little bit congested today for some reason. Here we go. So who have I not done yet? Let's go to a list of characters. Who have I not done? I did Mika a long time ago. Okay, very busy. Maybe I'll try doing her again. It's been a minute. Let's see what official art there is. It's easy, or at least relatively easy to do. So, where's the gallery link on the week? There it is. There we go. Stop it. Okay. Should be simple enough if it will let me see. I don't want to add. Thank you. Want to just there we go. Enlarge the image there. I've been doing stuff. Welcome. You haven't missed anything yet. You just missed me figuring out why my microphone wasn't properly being picked up. But that has been resolved, and I'm gonna, unless I get another suggestion in the next couple seconds, I'm gonna try start drawing Mika this time, since I haven't drawn her in a while. Yeah, I first tried, and I was still very starting out with the art here. So I figured I might as well do it now that I'm a little bit better at it. Here's day 172. Let's mark that down, just so I keep track. I probably will stop keeping track of days once I hit a full year, and then just aim to keep on being regular with it on my own, and obviously I'll still probably post periodic updates on various drawings and stuff like that, since I do enjoy it, and people like drawing during streams. So, again. Okay, just bring this up so I can see any chat action. Yeah, actually, I like this image I found because it's a bit different. It's a slightly tilted face angle. I'm still trying to get better at doing angles that are not just straight on. Luckily for me, her hair is relatively simple compared to some characters. Most of the characters tend to not be that difficult. They don't have too many crazy hairs or crazy outfits. I guess I want to try to do like casual characters. There are some that are simple, but a lot of them are more than a little complicated, to put it lightly. So, really? The audio is... Maybe it was the wire touching the microphone? Let me try this. Let's move the microphone here. I move the camera by accident. Audio, it's saying the right thing is being picked up. Is it going weird in terms of the volume of the microphone, or just being random in some other way? I could maybe turn on the stream myself to hear what I sound like. Let's see. is kind of bad. Huh. No idea why that would be. I guess I could try unplugging this and plugging it back in again. Or I have too many Bluetooth devices attached, so let's try this. Let's just mute stream, and I'll just take out the other Bluetooth device. My regular earbuds weren't working. Oh, now we're hearing me again. I want to hear double. Okay, let me know if it's any better now. Whoever's here, I'll take out the other Bluetooth and see now if the computer is happier with just the one Bluetooth device being active at a time. Because I can't really hear it myself. Actually, I can listen to it on my phone. But someone let me know if the audio is any better. Move this closer to me again. I think that wasn't the problem. But I guess it could be that it was multiple USB devices being in at the same time caused some issues. I want to stay where I wanted to stay. Okay. Well, they didn't make noise. Oh, there's a protest outside. How lovely. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna hopefully assume that it's better now. I guess I'll try listen to it myself. No, not that again. No. Disconnect that. Connect this. Why? There's always something that goes wrong with these. Apologies for the technical difficulties. The last couple streams went pretty well, I think, in that sense. This one does not want to. Any day now. I want to figure this out before it. There we go. Okay. Let's listen to my own stream and see if it sounds any better. Oh, at least I gotta add. Okay. Okay, I think we're okay. I think we're better now. Sounded okay for the second I listened to it on my phone. So, we will be getting back to the actual point of the stream. I'll bring this back up so I can see the chat a little more easily. I'll just glance over. So also, I don't know if I mentioned it on the channel at any point. I've been doing some extra drawing stuff lately. Also, as part of the reason why I've been limiting myself strongly to just 10 minutes a day of straight drawing practice. Because as a way to help out my artist, because we're doing the manga and it's more than a little bit delayed at this point, I'm helping him out by basically doing storyboard sketches. I think they're technically called name sketches over in Japan. Which apparently I learned this recently that a lot of manga writers or even some artists will do this, like to basically storyboard the manga itself instead before they do the proper, like the full sketch or the full pages are drawn and that kind of thing. So I'm doing that for him now. So I'm doing an average one of those a day. I'm not going to show those off because those are terrible, because I'm doing them quickly because I don't have a lot of time to spend on it, and the point of them is just to give him like a starting point that isn't just a blank canvas basically. So he said they'll be very helpful and hopefully will save him a significant amount of time, which will be kind of important, seeing how far behind we are. So through no fault of his own, it's just personal stuff in his life that came up that was unexpected, that delayed things a lot, and we're almost a year late at this point. So willing to try mostly anything at this point to get that back on track and shave some time off the process here. This feels a little wide. I don't know. We'll try anyway. I guess feel free to let me know if anything with the audio or whatever starts causing problems again, because I will be happy to try and fix it if this Streamlabs setup will allow me to. But I can't fix it if I don't know there's a problem. It's for reasons both practical and not liking to listen to the sound of my own voice more than I have to. I don't listen to my streams as I actually stream. So it's kind of. Protests outside again. What else is new? And there hopefully won't be any sirens during the stream, but if it is, you'll definitely hear that over the microphone, and I will try and be a good citizen and go to shelter for 10 minutes. But hopefully that won't happen. We didn't have one yesterday. We had a couple last week. Not a big deal. Just inconvenience at this point. Going here. Let me know. I guess I'll take a look in a second to see if it looks like it'll be. It looks a little harder to see than it ought to be. Because my lighting situation is still not great. And I'm using a finer pencil than I have, I think, before, because I've been happier with the results I'm getting in terms of just drawing detail with it. Also, I was going to mention before, too, before the audio was having problems, that I'm looking to maybe get like a pen, like a proper, this drawing black pen to kind of use, I guess, to go over the final lines of drawing, so I don't have to worry about erasing pencil when I get to those points in a drawing. So maybe one of the next things I buy in this journey, alongside another sketchbook once I reach closer to filling this one up. And the eye's a little bit off, that's okay. For the timing we've got here. It almost actually looks like her already without there. I guess I mentioned on previous streams too that I think a lot of the time you don't start to see the character you're actually drawing until you get to the hair. I think partially because a lot of the faces, start off fairly similar looking, and then it's really adding that piece that makes it distinctive in terms of who specifically it is. Although of course you have characters with the same hairstyle and all that, but for some reason it always seems to come together when I get to that part. Getting to there shortly. Can't enlarge this anymore. That's unfortunate. She's got the turtleneck look from the Sentinel uniform. So I'm kind of just getting the collar part of that in now. Zipper. Probably should left the space for, but it's okay. Maybe a little zipper for there. Below the zipper, we have for some reason. Also, like I mentioned this before too, that I always seem to have an easier time, to a degree, drawing clothing than the faces themselves. I don't know why. If it's just easier. Also, I'm doing a lot of direct referencing, so it's right there for me. But for some reason, those seem to always come out a little bit easier. I don't know why. Maybe I should start offering my services as like I guess a designer, or I guess to draw like new clothing designs for characters or something. I don't know. I think we all have our things we're better at. It's like when I go to the ninja gym. There are some things we can do in the gym that different people have different natural skill, I guess, that we have that have easier time picking up, and different obstacles and stuff that we have less of an easy time picking up. Like the salmon ladder took me a couple years to figure out. Got there eventually, but it took a long, long time. And it was a pain in the neck. Let's check this over here. I think the audio problems at the beginning probably hurt the stream at the start, but that's okay. I committed to doing it, so I'm happy to do it anyway. It does still count for my drawing time for tonight. Also, I'm probably not going to have time to draw tomorrow because it's the eve of a holiday again. I'm going to be traveling for a couple hours in the day. Well, yeah, so less time. Plus, I'm going to be spending time tonight again, and then probably tomorrow re-editing the video I wanted to put out this week to try and get it to not be claimed for the third time, or fourth time it would be actually at this point. Also, thanks to everybody who took the time to vote in that poll. I hope to not have to change the format much, if at all. Although if I do anyway, it would probably just be for things that I've seen are a problem. Like their film has been a problem. Well, I think mostly just because the nature of making their film videos, it kind of lends to a lot of clips being from the same thing or from similar scenes. And that obviously is more likely to set off content ID detection, I guess, as opposed to things like character analysis videos that it's a little narrower, a lot wider than I wanted. Maybe it's fine. Which use clips from different episodes, and so it's not as much of a problem to do, since it won't pick up any automated things, and overly picky Japanese corporate types won't feel that it's using too much of the original source material, even though it should be clear fair use. But YouTube is as YouTube does, and Japanese companies as well. It's not as bad as Nintendo. So, and I said earlier also before things got started here, at least they're relatively prompt in their either acceptance or rejection of a dispute. So they don't leave you waiting for too long to find out if they will let your thing go through. If they had a problem with it at first, usually within a day, maybe two, to respond to a dispute. Bigger problem is when YouTube has it get claimed like a full, couple days occasionally after it first goes live, which is a big pain. Very much do not like that. But usually it happens pretty quick. So at least there's that. Like I said, they respond pretty quickly. So at least they're not wasting my time too much. Which that'd be the worst thing, wouldn't it? Ear in here before I forget. Can't see much of it in this reference image, but it is present. It does leave a good guidepost of where this stops, and then that there. Hi, welcome. Everyone joining us now, we're drawing Mika, who I haven't tried to draw since like day 30-something in my drawing challenge, which I don't know if you can see. You can see, okay. Especially if I lean over, you have the shadow, so that's better. We're going okay once I figured out the audio problems I was having earlier in the stream. So since that was resolved, I think we're doing fine right now. I hope you don't have to hear the noise from outside. Should be muffled enough that the microphone here won't pick it up. I hope. If not, well, it's the price of living where I do right now. I might move later in the year, but I have no plans of anything like that yet. And I kind of hope not, unless I have a good reason to, because moving is a pain in the neck. Let me know if it's still too hard to see. I think it looks okay for me on the screen, especially when I'm leaning over it with the shadow. I could move it closer if that'll help. Like I said, it is a finer pencil than I've used in previous streams, I think. It makes it a lot easier to get the nicer detail. It can be finer with particulars, and like small stuff, like with the little hair, or with eye drawings. So, also for anybody who wasn't here before, I mentioned that I hope in another week or two I'll be able to figure out to get things resolved to use Dream Tank Match again. I'm going to have a friend who could hopefully help me with cloning the old hard drive and not charge me a couple $100 to do so. And assuming that works, then I'll just have to make sure all the other new files have to just back up all that stuff, which isn't too much, and then everything should be back to how it was back in October, and I will be able to play that game without having to re-clear the entire game, which I'd also rather not have to do, since those files were over to the third hard drive. But most of them will be on the previous one, which still is functioning enough to use for a clone. So, oh man, I can really hear them outside now. Yeah, I thought about doing that. The problem is that getting the angle of that to work would be a little bit difficult. Like, it's about as above it as I can right now. It has a decent height, but not a ton of height. And I can try that next time to see if I can get it higher up. Let's see if I can move it now without making anybody motion sick. Yeah, let's see if I could. Also, I have the thing up on a little, I don't know what to call it in English. Just in Hebrew, it's a stand, or in Yiddish, it's a stander. I don't know what to... I guess not an easel, that's for like proper painting, but a stand to, because also I want to keep it straight on with the paper, so you don't looking at an angle the whole time. But I think this is better than the previous ones, just because it's not in my way as much, and hopefully I'll be able to figure out as we go on. And even once I get the Dream Tank Match working, and I do plan to do more of these because I enjoy them and people seem to like them when the audio isn't acting up. So I will do more. So as we keep going, I will hopefully work out the kinks in the system one at a time. We're not a professional operation here yet. Maybe eventually. Though even then, I'm not expecting to be a professional streamer anytime soon. Not really my personal goal, although I wouldn't mind to an extent, but I want to write my books and sell my books most of my time. So this kind of goes up and around. There we go. It's a little bit wider than I wanted. Let's see if we could clean that up a little bit. Yeah, the webcam should be good. It's a decent webcam. I think it's partially the lighting and partially the fine pencil that I'm using. Like when you have the shadow over, it's much easier to see than when I lean back. So that's really the main thing right now that I have to figure out. Is I really have to just get a different light that I could put on to turn off the one that's on right now, and use one that's closer up. That'll let me have a better time at actually seeing. There we go. That's a little better, I think. It's not intended. I don't know how to change that. Let's see. Resolution. Oh. Huh. Oh, well, there we go. I changed the resolution. That mostly just changed how it looks on my Streamlabs here. Because that's actually what it said. I don't know why it defaulted to that. Now it says 1920 by 1080. So that looks better. Let me know, and I'll make sure to keep that in mind again for next time as this learning process continues of figuring out how to do a decent drawing stream. Portions are a little bit off, I think, but that's okay. I'm not gonna be too much of a stickler for that. Oh, okay. Well, that was an easy fix, at least. Sometimes the fixes are easy, sometimes they're not. Yeah, let's redo some of them. Second. Sorry about silence for a second. I'm just trying to let roommates know who weren't aware previously that I'm currently busy. There we go. Still looks a little bit higher than I want. I don't know. She has kind of like a large head. I'm realizing. It's kind of funny how, like, you've seen some of the pictures where they, like, some people digitally remove, like, anime girl hair, and then, like, their head gets huge. Like, the forehead looks huge sometimes. It's kind of funny. So, let's see. We could... What time is it? Yeah, I think this time might be better to just stick with one drawing for stream and see how far I could get in terms of the full image that I'm referencing here. So, yes. And starting another one at this point would be hard to get a whole lot done. I do have to have a hard stop at around 10:30 my time, so I can do the member stream, and so I can actually eat something in between. There we go. So that's that kind of goes down there. The arm continues. This picture that I'm referencing doesn't have a hat on, so I could try and add it near the end if you want. I could just get another image up that has she has the hat on, just so I can see what the hat looks like to just draw on top of her head here. So if you want to do that, like I said, I can definitely try adding that later, but the image I have right now. It does not conveniently give it to me. So it's a little further out. There, that's better. Also, I think if you weren't here when I mentioned before, I am going to try and look into getting a like drawing pen to use when I finalize the stuff I work on, to go over the pencil lines. So I don't have to try and just do hard pencil lines, and which could make it then have to erase the weaker lines. So make it a little bit better in that regard, a little more professional looking, I guess, too. Zipper. Maybe before the end of the stream also I will try and show off some of the recent stuff I drew, since I haven't done a video update on it yet. I probably will, maybe another month or two, I'll do another one of those. But I've been limiting my drawing time to like more of a strict 10 minutes per day lately, since I have other things I have to do and I can't let myself get caught up too much in the drawing, as much as I do enjoy it. So it's just the nature of having limited time to work with. And also I'm drawing sketches for my artists now, like storyboard sketches for the manga we're working on, since that depends on what they do in Japan a lot of the time, and it'll help out a lot, he said, in terms of saving him time working on new pages, since he'll have those to start from instead of a like completely blank slate. Even though it'll probably change a lot of what I do, since my eye for layout is obviously nowhere near as good as his, for obvious reasons, but it gives him more of a, like I said, more of a starting point and guideline in that way. So it'll hopefully help us get it out a little faster than it's been coming along. And no fault of his own, and just personal stuff on his end that really slowed things down to an extreme degree. Just life throws curveballs, and you have to deal with it sometimes. Best thing to do, I guess, is to hit it for the baseball reference to work, but yeah. Of course, hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things to do in any professional sport, from what I understand. So, I guess it makes the metaphor work a little better. I definitely do plan on going to Ori at some point. It's a matter of having the time and the money to do so. I would want to go to Japan. If I'm going to go to Japan, I want to go for at least like 2 weeks, I would think, because it justifies the flight, which is long and expensive. But then, of course, the longer you stay, the more it's going to cost too. And but I also, like I said, I want to go to, want to do more than just Ori if I go to Japan. So I hope within the next couple of years I'll be able to save up enough. And also, I'd want to time it to, try and go. Maybe not around the time of one of the festivals, like the Anglerfish Festival type of stuff, where they have Girls Und Panzer specific stuff going on in Ori. Obviously, that's more fun to be there for that. So, fortunately, the pace of release of Girls Und Panzer Das Finale means I have at least a few years left to get there before that might potentially stop. Although, since they already announced the release of the the spin-off, the MLSD spin-off stuff, that might indicate they're going to do more with the franchise beyond, the initial films, showing films themselves, which means there'll be more stuff going on there. And obviously, it's an ROI as a city's interest to keep stuff going since it does bring tourism. So, I also want to try and find like a family member or a friend who be willing to go with me to that, because obviously, if you have multiple people, staying in the same Airbnb or hotel room, you save a lot of money on that cost. So, going as a party as opposed to one person is another way to save some money when traveling. Depends where you go, of course. It doesn't matter in some place. I went to Budapest a few years ago, and it didn't matter that much because everything there was very cheap. At least it was then. I don't know if it's changed. So it didn't matter as much. But Japan is a much more expensive trip, so that will be a good idea for me to do. Yeah, that would be if I do enough Duolingo Japanese to where I feel comfortable trying to watch the movie without subtitles. Maybe I'll try and time it for that. But I am drawing Ika. Should be. It's hard. It's hard to tell a little bit with without the color, I guess, because of the hair. But I think it's visible enough. I have a little bit more to add here since the portion is a little bit off from the official art in terms of some of this. Yeah, I can add another strand going down that way. Got another one here too, maybe. It is a little bit of an interpretation. Also, the whole thing with drawing the concept art sketches for my artist is something else I owe to the director of Girls Und Panzer, since I got the thought of doing that in the first place when I watched Shirobako, which he also directed, because there it's making anime, but also you have the director of the show, who's not really an artist usually, drawing the rough storyboards to then give to the animators and the artist team. So I figured, hey, if that works for there, I might as well suggest it to my artist, for my project, and apparently it's a real thing. So I didn't just make it up on my own. So I'm kind of happy to see that. So I have to thank him. One day I could do it. I guess I could do it on Twitter, but he's not very active there. So I don't know. And also, I don't know if he responds something in English or if I could do if I could do a Google Translate Japanese well enough to get the message across. So we'll see. But I owe him that. In addition to the Girls Und Panzer being, a significant influence, I guess, in some of my creative projects and obviously in making this channel in the first place. So I'd like the chance to actually meet him one day, which would be kind of cool to thank him. Maybe even, get him to do an interview or something one day, who knows? I mean, that would require a translator probably, because I don't see my Japanese being good enough anytime soon to be able to manage that. Unless he secretly knows English and I have no idea. But I'm not going to count on it. So that's where that stands. He also does occasionally post like cryptic small updates on progress with Girls Und Panzer and occasionally other stuff he's working on there. Like when I mean cryptic, I mean like very cryptic. Where he'll post like a 2-line message about like storyboard is being worked on, or we're redoing this scene or something like that. So very, very, very minimal stuff. So don't expect to get too much insight of what's going on progress wise from him. I'll glance back at the chat again. I haven't looked in a few minutes. Yes, people were. I think Haddix already asked about the hat previously. When we get to the end of the stream, if I have a few extra minutes, if we get close enough, I might try and just look up another image of the hat. Because the reference image I'm using right now doesn't have the hat, which is why I didn't do it. But I could definitely try and add it at the last minute, as we get closer to the half hour where I have to call it a stream. Yeah, that's a little better. So that could be the finishing touch on this stream sketch, and I might even, since I probably won't finish the full thing on stream, I could definitely try and finish this over the next couple days this week as part of my regular drawing practice. I feel like ashamed to not finish it completely after getting this far, I think. I'm not going to even try the hands on stream right now because I've gotten a little bit better at hands. I've occasionally pulled off decent ones, but they're still scary. There's a reason AI has trouble with them to an extent still, even though they're getting better at it, unfortunately. So I have been practicing those, but not good enough yet. So like that's where her arm's gonna stop as far as this stream is concerned. So I'm not gonna try it. Not brave enough to try that on stream yet. Though she has ghost hands. For now. Yeah, I could definitely redo Yuzu at some point. Although it would be kind of fun, I don't know, it's probably been done already by somebody, to just do wide versions of everybody, and just like a meme. Considering that that whole thing is, a pretty well-known meme at this point. So it'd be kind of funny to do all the Girls Und Panzer cast in wide form. So I hope that noise isn't too loud. I think somebody's cooking. I can't fully take over the entire apartment area. Unfortunately, my room is right next to the kitchen, so it's a very strangely designed building, designed by possibly an insane person about 50 years ago, I would guess. Israeli interior design is always bizarre, and in this case, extra bizarre. So it's a thing, as they say. You have 10 minutes left. Okay. And once you get to 25, maybe I will try and go for the hat. Make it indisputable who we're drawing today. So. Whoops. And I hit the camera with my baseball cap. Yeah, Yukari probably should be a meme. It seems like she would be a good candidate to just, flex everybody like that. Just a little bit. Fix that proportion a little bit here. Yeah, I'll fix that after stream probably. Also, something else I've gotten better at. I mean, not by necessarily wanting to, but as you kind of have to when you're trying out art for the first time, is just to not be perfectionist with everything. Like, if you're referencing a thing, to not worry about trying to draw it, as perfectly close to what the original is and all that. And obviously, in your own anything original, to not worry too much about how it looks, because expecting perfection when you're starting out on anything like this is the first way to a quick way to madness. So I do not intend on going down that route, and it helps that I'm not really trying to do this professionally in any way, at least not for a long time. So I perfectly happy with where I've gotten so far, considering how much time I put into it. And I still recommend anybody who has any interest in drawing at all, whether just for fun or for profit, to give it a shot, because
obviously talent does play a role in this kind of thing, but a huge amount of it really does just come to practice and, regular practice, of course. Like, you're not going to get very far if you spend 10 minutes a week on it. So, coming up pretty good. Alright, 3 more minutes till it's hat time. So, keep that in mind as we get closer to where I have to wrap up. And of course, anybody who's a member or was interested in becoming one, obviously no obligation. I will be doing a member stream hopefully in a little while after this one is over. I'll be watching Zoid's Chaotic Century, which is an anime that I've had a lot of nostalgia for. Like, it was the first mecha anime I ever watched, and the only one that I had watched at all until relatively recently. Some of my favorite mecha designs of all time. I prefer animal mechs over human form mechs. So, I have more than a few Zoids figures. I can't show them right now, but I do have 1 or 2 here, and I have more that are packed away in boxes, waiting to be freed one day again when I have a place with more room than I currently do. But I never watched the original Zoids anime in the original Japanese, audio. So that is what I'll be doing. I'll be watching Chaotic Century in that, and hopefully the other one too. With that one, I found one with the audio, but not with subtitles. So I'm gonna have to at some point find fan subfile to either add or just find a way to kind of get it on the side of the screen where I could look at it while I watch the other anime too. Since I don't understand Japanese well enough to watch completely raw, Japanese audio shows yet. One day maybe. Yeah, hands will be. Like I said, hands I'll do them after stream, like maybe tomorrow. Well, actually not tomorrow. Probably more like Tuesday or Wednesday when I'm at work, and I use that as part of my drawing time. But the hat we will do now. It's about time. Find a good image of her with the hat. I did leave some space for it, so I think I have room for the hat on the page here. Where's the hat? There's the hat. I don't think it'll get too high. I might get a little bit close to the top of the page, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it'd be a little bit of a shorter hat than it's supposed to be, but it's the right place to start with it. Let's see. Let's not stab myself with the pencil. I don't need any more graphite. Any graphite in my diet. At least it's not lead anymore. Or if it hasn't been for a long time. Even though we all still call it lead anyway. Which I still find kind of funny. Let's bring this down. There. There we go. See, the hat's coming along. Of course, it won't look completely right without, color and stuff or filling it in, because obviously you still see everything underneath the hat. But, it's as good as we're going to get to do with pencils and without. Maybe I'll try coloring this one also. I have enough basic colors. I could probably pull it off. Yeah, the hat is naturally pretty wide, actually. So, she's very big brain. She has to have, a big hat, big head for big brain, and then bigger hat for big brain head. So there we go. Kind of comes down, and then there we go. We have a hat. It might be a little bit higher than it should be. I probably should sit a little bit lower. I don't know if I could fix that now. We have 53 minutes. Right? Yeah. I make it sit a little bit lower on her head. It kind of usually goes down to like closer to the eyes, so it's not as not a stovepipe hat. Let's see if I can do a quick fix of that maybe. Let's see. Here, let's bring it in. Well, bring it down a little further, and then bring it in. There we go. Okay. It's a little closer to where I think it usually sits. And then we can bring this up. Yeah, that's definitely more the usual level of it, I think. It's a little messy now, but it'll clean up fairly nicely, I think. And then clean this up. There we go. Had achieved. It's mostly close enough to where it's supposed to be. Here, let's add a couple of lines on it here where the color kind of changes. So I'll have that kind of set up for myself if I do add color at some point. There we go. So we have a hat. And just in time too. Because it's nearly 10:30 here. So, and no siren interruption, that's very nice. So yeah, it's kind of funny how big the hat does look even when I don't know if I'm going to make it shorter when I edit this. I don't know. Anyway, I think it came out pretty good. Okay, you can skip the first like 5-10 minutes when I was trying to fix the audio problems and stuff, but obviously you'll see that in the VOD. You could just skim ahead until the drawing actually starts. But we hit the hour more or less, and came out pretty good. I think I probably will spend time this week trying to finish this up to get as close to a full proper sketch as I can. Maybe color it. We'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll color at least the hat and the hair maybe to like contrast that away, and obviously not have the see-through hat over here. But yeah, I'm glad this worked out in the end, despite the technical difficulties for the first bit. So I hope you enjoyed. And obviously I'll be doing the member watch along of Zoid's Chaotic Century in about half an hour or so. Hopefully it'll be a little bit longer. I might take a little more time, but we'll see. And hopefully Dream Tank Match stream soon. It'll depend on when I can arrange to get help cloning my old hard drive to get that reset up, and I have to just find the time for that. So we'll see. But yeah, no problem. Obviously, I don't watch any streams myself these days because I don't have that much time. So we all have things we have to do. So obviously the VODs are all there if you want to watch them later. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Glad you enjoyed despite the technical difficulties early on. And like I said, even when I do fix the Dream Tank Match stuff, I still plan on doing these. I don't know if I'll alternate them or if I'll add more streams. We'll have to see. But these are fun. And yeah, I'll be doing more. So thanks once again. Have a good rest of your day, afternoon, evening, night, etc.